Now, see, I didn't cut you off because if I cut you off, they're going to say I was being rude. No, friend. The verb pierced, they pierced. That's why you have the et here. It's telling you who was pierced. They pierced, the one pierced, right? This is what the object marker is. The one pierce is me. That's what the object marker does. It singles out the object of the piercing. I may look stupid. I'm not as stupid as I look. That's what the object marker does, buddy.
Hello, and welcome back to another Missionary Skeptic video. Today we're going to be dealing with Sam's erroneous interpretation of Zachariah 12:10. Unfortunately, this debate is one of the more embarrassing representations of Judaism, but let's try to clarify these issues for ourselves. Sam's rendering of the passage is simple. Insist that the term et must function as an object marker, and then claim that this verse supports God being slain. Sam's rendering is quite literally as follows: and they shall lament unto me, et the pierced. Sam wants to claim that that which is being lamented onto is pointed at by the et as being pierced. The first issue with Sam insisting that est must function as an object marker is that the same rendering can also be applied as an objection to the concept of the incarnation. Let's go to 2 Chronicles 6:18. But will God really dwell in et man? Does Sam want to render this verse as an objection to the incarnation, or would he much rather translate et as with to avoid this major blow to Christianity? Well, you guessed it, Sam renders et here as with. Let's now apply Sam's rendering of et functioning as a with in the verse in Zachariah and see what we come out with. And they, Israel, shall lament unto me et with the pierced, or more accurately, with the injured, meaning that Israel, together with the injured of this wall, will lament unto God. There is a second interpretation of this verse I would like to mention, and this involves a second usage of the term et. Et can often function as meaning regarding or because of. We see an example of this in Exodus chapter 12, verse 17. You shall be vigilant et the matzahs, for this very day I brought you and your hosts from the land of Egypt. The term et here is rendered as regarding, meaning you shall be vigilant regarding the matzahs, for on this very day I brought you and your hosts from the land of Egypt. Let's take the same rendering and apply it to the verse in Zechariah. And they shall lament unto me regarding the slain. As the context revolves a great war against Jerusalem, it should be hardly difficult to imagine who Israel is lamenting over. Quite clearly, the slain of the battle.
Let's read the rest of it, because you said it's plural, right? Okay, now, they shall look to me because of those who have been thrust to, and they shall mourn over it. Is that a singular or a plural?
That is a singular, v'sofadu olav.
Okay, it's singular, right? And then mourn over an only son.
As one mourns over an only son, mispet al hayochid, yeah.
Okay, so you see now why it's not plural, because all throughout it's speaking of a singular entity? Or are you going to deny that too, so I have to read the scholar again?
This objection is quite frankly shocking for multiple reasons. Firstly, in the very same verse, we find the inhabitants of Jerusalem also being referred to with the Hebrew singular. And I will fill the house of David and the inhabitant, the Yoshev, of Jerusalem. Does Sam want to suggest that there is now only one inhabitant together with the people of David because it isn't written in the plural? Of course not. The next reason that Sam's point is stupid is because we find Israel being repeatedly referred to as God's son in the singular, more common than any other nation. It's almost as if Sam isn't familiar with the Bible. See Exodus 4:22. And you shall say to Pharaoh, this is what God has said, Israel is my son in the singular, my firstborn in the singular. Or should we mention Hosea 11:1? I fell in love with Israel when he was still a child in the singular, and I have called him my son in the singular ever since Egypt. Or Jeremiah 31:9, the list goes on. Regardless of Sam's inability to be faithful to the words of the Bible, it is clear from the context that this event involves a great war against Jerusalem. See verses 2 and verse 3. Scripture uses the plural form describing those performing the slaying in verse 10, literally rendering, they were slaying. If multiple individuals are carrying out the slaying in this final war, then it only logically follows that multiple people are being slain. even if it's written in the singular. If you enjoy our video and want to support our content, please like and subscribe.